Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to FFG's Girls Who Game. My name is Emily Zabinski, and I'm happy to be one of your hosts.
And I'm Graden Camacho. I go by OfficialChiKa, and I'm super excited to be here. Hi, Em. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Good. It looks like we coordinated our outfits today.
Yeah, we both got fruits going on. So
I'm super excited to be here for the Girls Who Games event. Em, can you tell our viewers a little bit more about FFG and why this event is so meaningful and important?
Yeah, totally. So FFG is a Delaware-based company, and we focus on bringing esports and STEM opportunities to Black and Brown youths. Today, we are focusing on the ladies of gaming and STEM, and it's really important to kind of have these discussions, have these conversations, because women play a giant role in gaming and esports and STEM research and work. And I think it's time that, we kind of talked about it and acknowledge that. So you're going to hear from some really great speakers today, get some great insight, and watch some great gameplay.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Like you said, it's very important to highlight women in the gaming industry, right? And it's something so powerful and so empowering about women-led events. And so I'm looking forward to the panel speakers, like you said, and also some great gameplay. But of course, before we dive into the event, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors and thank our partners for their generous support, because without them, we wouldn't have been able to put this event out and, of course, able to offer it for free for our guests. Wow, what a lineup. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting this event. Like I said, it's very important that we highlight women-led events, and to see other people supporting women in the industry, it's very humbling, obviously, but it's just very important that we set that example for the younger audience that we have here today as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, Graden, do you mind if I ask you, how did you get into streaming and gaming and, this whole community?
You know what? I've gamed since I was very little. I started playing because my dad and I would bond through video games, through sports, and started playing like Half-Life and, Splinter Cell, like the very old game. I don't want to basically telling people my age at this point. So I started playing with my dad, and it just kind of developed, when I high school and college. And I just decided one day, I was like, you know what? I enjoy it this much, and I can see that I can make an impact. Putting everything together that I enjoy, my skills, and I just decided to start working in the gaming and esports industry. And it's been great, being that example and setting that example for the younger audience and for minorities like myself.
My story is a little bit different. I was a D&D nerd. I say was, like I'm not. But I was playing Dungeons
I played RuneScape, so it's okay.
Okay, there you go. And one day, one of the people I played D&D with was also a Smash Bros. Player, and he was like, "Hey, can you help me carry these giant TVs across campus? Like, it'll only take 5 minutes." And a half hour later, I'm sitting down with the controller in my hand, completely lost. But that was kind of my introduction to esports.
Yeah, it's very interesting to hear people's stories, but at the end of the day, it's the love for gaming that unites us, right? And I think that's something so special about that it doesn't really matter where someone's from or how they technically started playing video games or what console or what PC. At the end of the day, it's the love for gaming that unites us all. Hey guys, I'm Graden Camacho. I go by OfficialChiKa. I am a streamer, host, content creator, and activist in the gaming and esports industry. So I believe that a love for gaming unites people. Therefore, I created OfficialChiKa Gaming to entertain, inform, and inspire others through the power of gaming. Through my platform, I exercise philanthropy initiatives, awareness and education of social causes, as well as women empowerment, academia, and the importance of diversity, inclusion, and representation within the gaming and esports industry. And because I believe that a love for gaming unites people, my brand focus resides in respect, peace, and an enjoyable experience for all users. It is an active community that is empowered, diverse, and inclusive.
Do the chopper.
Who killed me?
This guy said, "Who killed me?" I'm lost right now.
Fucking
That was a miss.
That wasn't though. Stop playing peekaboo with me!
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
No.
I got one down. There's one more outside. Yeah, these guys over here are bots. I mean, look at this. He just easy kill.
Yeah.
Here we go. I got one team down.
There's one person left.
Got him. Got him.
No.
Yes.
Beautiful.
We won!
So before we get started, I want to go through and have each of our panelists tell us their name and a little bit about their background. And then we're going to go and jump right into the question. The first person is Jahan. If you could please share a little bit about you and your background, and then we'll go on to Kelly next.
Yeah, hey guys, I am Jihan, otherwise known as the Hip Hop Tech Diva. I am a 15-year educator who has transitioned from education to educational technology. And now I'm in esports awareness, and I'm just a mom. And that's my saying. My company, I'm the co-founder. My 13-year-old son is my other co-founder. And we are called Bebotics. We're an esports awareness company where we're making sure that parents and community stakeholders, but more importantly, children of color, understand the importance of STEAM careers, specifically in the esports industry. So I'm happy to be here.
Awesome, thank you so much.
I'm Kelly, I work at Evil Geniuses. I was like, I am from where? I work at Evil Geniuses. I am the education program manager currently at Evil Geniuses, where we work on a number of things, including our DEI platform, our press forward event. We're doing some really great camps and clinics this summer for esports and gaming, and a bunch of other really great programs that we're developing and improving upon.
And then Sushmita, if you don't mind, if you could bring us home with a little bit about you.
Hi everyone, I'm Sushmita. I'm originally from India, an immigrant to America. This is 13 years in States. And by education and background, I'm a scientist with background in chemistry and environmental toxicology. But my current profession, I'm in a leadership role. I lead a big team in sales and customer service because my passion is people and customer. So very atypical career path. I help, beside work, I help other women and girls to know more about STEM and empowering them. And I'm proudly raising 2 boys in a gender neutral family in a feminist way.
What would you say to a parent in regards to how they can support their child if they do have an interest in STEM or just the exposure to STEM?
Open mind. I think that's a very good question. And those they were listening, I want to give a message because some of us, we are more resourced, some of us we are not. A little bit about my background. I'm from a small village back in India. I grew up without electricity until 8th grade. So I think resource could be limited, but as a parent, there can always be a support, like open mind, not like traditional. Why everybody has to be a doctor or engineer? There are 10,000 other ways. Foster entrepreneurship, I know many entrepreneurs, they just went to high school. That's it.
What reassurances do you have for parents who might not be familiar with newer STEM paths, such as game design?
It's a growing industry, I think, is the main thing, right? And I know that probably sounds trite, but if you look at these past 2 years of the pandemic, right? Esports and gaming have skyrocketed. I need that social interaction and I need that collaboration with my peers, and gaming is a really great way to do it. And I think that is the biggest reassurance, right? Like, it is growing, people need it. It is great social interaction. As Jihan said, it's great for, building critical thinking and other skills. And as you grow in that career, and as kids now, 10 years from now, this is going to be and I'm going to take esports just because that's my industry, but esports is going to be on the same level as other professional sports. It already is getting there, right? It just doesn't have as much traction in America, at least, like it does in Asian countries, etc.
Hey, hello. Wasn't that an awesome panel? That's so cool.
I'm honestly shooketh because I don't even know where to begin because it was just so much good stuff. in that panel, the videos, I mean, everything, that I literally filled up my entire notebook of notes and our Google Drive.
Yeah, we've got a Google Doc open with like the run to show and everything, and there's just a
I was
column
like, oh
of
my
notes.
God, this is so good. I don't even know where to begin.
Probably a good place to start is like they were saying, everything starts at home. So just to like emphasize how important parental support is, even if like they were saying, just taking an interest in what your kid's doing. My folks have always, you know, they were tough love when I was in school, but sometimes I needed that. But I started out, like, I had no idea I'd wind up here. I started out, like, I wanted to go to vet school, then I wound up going to college for literature, and my folks supported me through, like, all of my transitions, and when I was like, you know, I kind of want to do this esports thing, they were like, all right, how can we help? So
that's amazing. I had something similar, too. When Shasmita was talking, I was like, oh my God, I can totally relate. So being the oldest daughter and then having to, be the first one to go to college, it was always instilled to go get your education. You have to go to college. A lot of times it's like you have to be the fancy lawyer, the doctor, and it's nothing wrong with those, right? Like, because we need the lawyers and we need the doctors, but like, guess what? Esports needs those too. And it's okay to want to do it in the gaming industry. And so for me, I went to school similar to you in the sense of like, I'm not really technically utilizing my degrees. I went for linguistics, pediatric audiology. I did my master's in neurophysiology and neuroscience with like pediatric audiology. I worked in plastic surgery at some point, and then like now I'm here hosting for you guys. So it's like, it really is. It's whatever you put your mind into. And I had this same situation where I told my parents, I was like, hey, so I'm not wearing that white coat or being a doctor, right? And so I'm gonna go ahead and do this esports and gaming thing, and I enjoy it. And while it's not directly tied to the medical field, I still get to like talk about those things and make those impacts. I still get to work with children in philanthropy, right? I still get to discuss health and wellness. I'm very passionate about the things we're discussing today. I'm still able to do all of those things that I learned, but using those skill sets and those leadership skills that I have learned and implementing them now in this industry. And I think that's very important. So if you're out there and you're thinking this is the industry for you, don't feel discouraged because you might have gone to school for literature, I don't know, whatever. Like, there is room for you. It's just a matter of how you present yourself. So I just think, I was mind blown. Literally, Shasmita said, I wish, and I quoted her, I wish I knew this before. Same thing. I've heard so many people that have said that same exact thing. I wish I knew that before.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you don't need to know where you're going when you're like 16 years old. I think we put a lot of pressure, especially nowadays, on kids, not to be kids, but to be kind of machines.
You have to grow up faster.
Yeah. You got to be able to succeed in school. You have to do extracurriculars. You have to keep your grades up. Like, there's so much pressure on kids nowadays that we don't always give them the chance to find out who they are and to take that time to slow down and figure things out for themselves.
Yeah, and I wrote about that on here when we were taking notes. I was like, oh my God, this is like amazing. Is that there's so many avenues to explore. And Kelly said that, we don't necessarily need more gamers, but like we need those business savvy people. We need people that know marketing. We need people that are willing to go in there and try those avenues. And maybe it might not have worked out, but you probably would have learned something through that process. And it's like you said, trial and error. I actually did an interview when I first started, and they asked me, they're like, Chika, so like, how's it going and how have you been doing it? And I'm like, trial and error. I'm like, trial and error, specifically like when I first started my branding. I thought it was gonna work, right? And I didn't realize, how big of an impact one can really make in this industry, especially starting on. And I changed my whole branding completely, right? And I was like, trial and error. It wasn't just all butterflies and roses right off the bat. You have to have those learning experiences and take those moments to learn from them, not get discouraged, but use them as a way to get a little step ahead when you try your next trial, I guess. Yeah. So, there was so much information on that. And one thing I wanted to point out is something that Jihan says. She said, little girls that look like me. And that really impacted me. And it really, and I know for you as well, it really touched at the heart, because I always said that we need representation, not just from, girls behind the lens, but also in front of the lens. And so I was told, oh, Chika, you're not going to be able to do it. And I'm like, I'm going to show you that I can do it. Maybe it might not directly correlate with the things that I learned in school as far as like plastic surgery, for instance, but I learned something through that, is that I can be a leader and I know how to converse with people. I know how to network and have conversations and make people feel comfortable in a room. And so those little things that I learned from there, I can now bring them to here. Like I said, may not be directly coordinated, but it can work. And I think it's important that we're seeing, you know, people like you, Jihan, Kelly, all of us coming together, truly embracing that, bringing people together and showing that there is room for little girls out there that do want to be in gaming, right? And also just representation as a whole and inclusion. I thought that was very, very nice of her to say. And I related to the whole thing. I literally sat here with my salad and I was just like, this is so good. I'm like, I feel bad for the people that are missing out on this. You know, it's like free feedback. You know, I just thought it was amazing.
So I first want to say welcome to our panelists. We're going to jump right in, and what we're going to do first is have each panelist tell us your name and a little bit about your background and how you actually got into gaming. I'm going to start with the first person I see on my screen, and the first person is Janelle. Janelle, do you mind kicking us off with a little bit about you and how you got into gaming?
Yes, sure. So a little bit about me. I am a professional esports player, specifically for Equinox Gaming for the game Tekken 7. It's a fighting game. The series has been around for years. I'm 26 years old. I've been a pro player for 3 years, been in the community, the fighting game community, and gaming for about like 7 years. It started as a hobby. It was a huge hobby because I was in school and I was a college student. And even when I graduated, I was very much so into competing and playing Tekken and being a part of that community, the camaraderie and everything. And I went pro in 2018. And then since then, it's been this crazy just roller coaster of just exposure to esports. I started off as a kid playing games. I didn't expect to be here with it, but I'm really happy to, because I also have other roles in the community as well. You learn a lot about yourself, that you can be more than a player. You can actually inspire and help your community as well with the amount of exposure that you have and the amount of influence you have on your platforms and things like that.
Congratulations on your success. Congratulations. Janice, you are next.
Hi, like I said, I'm Janice. I am from Canada and I represent Fem Gaming. I joined them recently, great community, and I've been gaming for about 25 years, more casually more than anything, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. And then Zamara, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Awesome. Okay. Can you share with us a little bit about your background and how you got into gaming?
Of course. As you heard, my name is Zamara. On Twitch, I go by eBunny. I actually got into gaming because being the only girl in the house, and actually it's just me and my brother, being the only girl, I wanted to be with the only other child in the house, and that was my brother. So I just started watching him and I fell in love with it. And one day I started playing Assassin's Creed, and that was my heart from there on out. I've been gaming since probably officially 100% since I think the dawn of Assassin's Creed, but gaming has been in my heart since probably about the age of 5. And I'm glad to have fallen in love with something that is taking the world by storm.
Right. Janelle, I'm gonna start with you because you specifically mentioned that you turned pro. So tell us about like leading up to that, and what does that really mean, so a parent can understand, and anyone on here that wants to turn pro, what does that mean, turning pro?
Yes. So turning pro means you have the results, and not just the results, but you have a sponsor, someone who can support you, like going to tournaments, like paying for travel, maybe like a monthly amount that you get like every month, things like that, ways that they help you grow, expand your brand as well. Like you become like honestly, it kind of just started with, like, I got asked to be a part of Equinox Gaming. And at the time they were kind of new, but they had a couple of top American players for Tekken already. And they were scouting people, and I was someone that they were interested in. I took a chance on it because one of my friends on the team was like, hey, yeah, they treat us really well here. They take care of our travel. our flights, like our hotel, everything. The things that can be really expensive for a player to do on their own.
Okay.
So yeah, it honestly just started with them sending me out to events. And then from there you learn how to fight against other people, play styles, adapting to different types of like characters and things like that. You get familiar with how to coexist in competitive environments, because I had already done it, but the difference was I was doing it signed with some with a team that was getting pretty big, and the type of competition I was going against constantly was super high. It was massive. So like I said, like the consistency aspect is being able to perform and get those top 8s, those top 3s, those first places like consistently, proving that you are one of the best in your own region, North America, and then across the world. And like the universal like knowledge that everybody kind of acknowledges that they understand that that's the case, because your reputation is really good. But it's definitely doing it consistently and also training and knowing what to look for, and you're constantly getting better. That's how you turn pro. You always have to be like learning and training yourself, and you have to play with the best.
Janice, do you mind jumping in and just giving us some insight on how you actually broke into the industry and steps you could share with our viewers?
Well, yeah, of course. So I want to say I joined Fem Gaming about in February of 2021, honestly. And I was just scrolling through Facebook, wasting the evening away after my child had gone to bed. And I saw somebody mention it, and I was like, wow, this sounds amazing. So I just joined in their Discord, checked out their website and such, joined in, and just kind of slowly worked my way to becoming a community moderator for Fem Gaming. And so I'm slowly breaking out more into that aspect, but like once my child goes to bed, I just work my way into Fem Gaming and go from there.
That was an awesome panel. The other one was an awesome panel. They're both awesome panels.
They're both awesome panels. It was, we started talking about what a timeline would look like of being a pro player, potential steps it would take. And then it got really, really like let's talk about what's really going on, right? And it, luckily I wore waterproof mascara today, but it got me tearing up because I could relate to that, right? Especially when it's a person of color and having to deal with also being a woman in the industry. It can take a toll. And so I resonated with a lot of the stuff that was being said on the stream, and as I'm sure you can as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, just kind of to stress what they were getting at the end, it's a very brave thing to reach out for help. And there's nothing wrong with needing to do so. It's like you were saying, it's very stressful for women, for people of color, for minorities, for queer folks. Like it's a lot, and it can be a hostile environment. That's why we need these conversations. That's why we need these communities. But if you have to reach out for help, that is a brave decision that you are doing. And I've been there. I know so many people that have been there, and I commend you for being able to take that step.
Yeah, for sure. I know we talked about, or it was spoken a lot about parents and parental guardians being that support, but not everyone has that kind of support, right? So what happens? What do you do then? And I've seen there's been a push for building these communities in schools, right? After school programs and things like that. If you have a teacher that you can reach out to that potentially knows the gaming industry or just even likes to game, that's someone that you can reach out to too. And I think that's also that we need to shed light on, is that a mentor or someone to look up to for support doesn't necessarily always have to be a parent. It helps, right? But it could be a therapist, a teacher, it can be your neighbor, right? It can be a friend. So definitely reach out to someone. There are communities out there, like Fem Gaming was mentioned. There was the 1,000 funds. There's all sorts. I mean, even what you guys do, it's providing those opportunities to people and creating a genuine community surrounding that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important to really to stress how important community is. And even we talk about family a lot. We talk about the parent-child bond, which is super important. But family is anyone that supports you. And it is important to be able to find those connections. And sometimes you have to think a little bit creatively, but like there are so many ways that you can find a loving, supportive community online. I know they brought up the tagging system on like Twitch and YouTube, and like we were saying before, it's so important to see people that look like you gaming. So you know, you can find like Reddit communities or Discords or even just like tags on Twitch that reflect who you are in supportive communities. They are out there. I know it can seem really, really daunting at first because it is a big open ocean of the internet when it comes to gaming. But there are like these little safe havens, little islands that you can go to and find people to talk to and to relate to.
And I recently started using the tags too for Latina, Hispanic, like those tags have actually helped me connect with, you know, people that are from Puerto Rico, which is where I'm from, and that only speak Spanish. And so I've been able to make connections that way too, and kind of show them like, hey, like I actually know people that are building an esports program over there in the island. So like I can connect you with them. So it's just like building those connections and connecting people to other opportunities, right? And that's something that a lot of organizations like, you know, FFG and then my brand, for instance, is focusing on giving those opportunities and providing help to people that don't feel like they necessarily have a place.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like that, you know, like it was Janelle that was saying this. It's so important to not ignore how you're feeling. If someone comes to you and says something derogatory or says something to hurt you, don't ignore how you're
internalize it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like band together, don't keep it in. I had a situation about a week ago where I was playing in a gaming tournament. And I had someone come up to me and basically say that I didn't belong there. I was there with a friend and my buddy, you know, I was, you know, it takes you off guard a little bit, and it's okay to not have a reaction in that moment. Your first thing is your safety. But I had a friend come up, you know, next to me and he's like, you know what? It's not okay that you said that. From my experience, at the very least, the best way to get started in gaming and esports, do your research, find out what you're passionate about, and then just start reaching out to people. So many people in this industry are so kind and so willing to just sit down and chat with you. Like, for, I don't know, you don't have to go to some big networking event, or you don't have to sit through
COVID kind of like taught us that in a sense, right? Because we were all confined at home, and so we had to find ways in which still being able to connect with one another and not go to these huge events that we're so used to going or, you know, passing by, right? We had to find ways to be at home and still network and connect. And some of the best connections I made happened to just be virtually, like not even meeting in person. Now that things are starting to get back somewhat to normal, obviously we're expecting events to come back up live. We're gonna have more people conversing, you know, face to face. But COVID kind of taught us that, like, hey, you know, you need to get out there and network with people, even if it's on a virtual level on LinkedIn, message somebody, or, you know, now they have, I'm active on that platform, eFuse, right? It's a platform for gamers, it's built for gamers. And so you can easily connect on there, find people to chat with, right? You guys are providing resources as well for, you know, the neighboring communities, but even beyond. So there are resources out there. And it's just a matter of, you know, sacrificing that time, being eager to learn, and the willingness to adapt and grow in an ever so changing environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, just reach out. At any time, you guys can reach out to the Futures First Gaming community in the Discord or through social media. And I know, Gredden, you have your own resources.
And my DMs are literally, I never close them. They're always open.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to plug your Discord or your community in the chat, I think it is time for us to cut away to the pro.
Are we going to watch some gameplay now?
Yeah, we are. All right. Get hyped, guys.
I'm smiling at the camera again.
We want to do a quick rundown and thank all of the sponsors, supporters, panelists, and our lovely moderator for the event. So thank you to Discover Bank, Delaware Prosperity Partnership, Summer J Artisan Pops, PMG Consulting, Chris Kenny, the Delaware College of Art and Design, Kiki Beauty, who I know Graydon's gonna get with later.
I can't wait to see her.
Go for a shoulder massage right now.
Right?
Loosen up. Lock Nation, Black Collegiate Gamers Association, our partners at RSN and Training Grounds, Evil Geniuses, Fem Gaming, and Equinox Gaming. You want to thank our panelists and moderator?
And also thank you to our panelists and moderators. We have Tam, we have Jihan, Kelly, Shamita, Janelle, Zamara, and then I believe it was Janice today, but Sharice, thank you also for extending the invite. And then also I want to say thank you to you guys personally, Future First Gaming, obviously, and M for dealing with my shenanigans all day. But also everyone that was behind the scenes too with production, you know, getting everything together, because it does take a full team to do this kind of stuff virtually. So yeah, just thank you to everybody that came by, and of course our audience.
But that's it. So
that's it, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, everyone, you guys have a great rest of your weekend.
Yeah. Alrighty. Happy Saturday. See you guys next time.
Bye, guys.